Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Character Inspiration with Cowie Cow. Somebody personally requested from my Monday night game. He is looking into playing a half-orc paladin, so I'm doing half-orc paladin because it was requested. So, like I usually do, I will do a good aligned, a neutral aligned, and an evil aligned. Paladins are a little bit tougher for evil aligned, but I found one that'll work. So we'll start with the good aligned. Half-orc Paladin of Devotion. Devotion is very much, like you can see here, it's very much very strict by the law. You know, the law as written, there's no, it's black or white. There's no gray area. So this half-orc follows Tyr specifically. All of them, because they're paladins, they have to follow a specific god, in theory. So this one, I took the Acolyte background because they were raised in a church. So, and my thought process, and it's a little tragic and terrible of a backstory, and it could be tweaked, but I kind of went with because of the very nature of following the law. So the mom, this half-orc's mom, was raped by a orc during something, and she was able to escape and get to a city that had a temple, pretty sizable temple of Tyr, and she is human, you know. So the male that the orc obviously raped her, and she was able to escape. Was pregnant, gave birth to a half-orc. So because of that, this child was raised in this temple. You know, the mom lived there too. She worked and served there. Maybe she was a follower of Tyr herself. She could have maybe she was even a cleric of Tyr. And maybe that's how she was able to kind of get in there. And so he was raised in the church. So he followed the words of Tyr and was raised with that lifestyle. So, you know, using the Acolyte background, which, you know, you know all about, you know, church activities and stuff. So he or she, they were raised in the church, and we're pretty happy. But, you know, his mom was a bit older, or their mom was a bit older in age when she gave birth, and so she passes away. And so, because one of their parents is dead and the other one may or may not be dead, but the other one, you know, is kind of a terrible person to them. Like I said, devotion, very black or white, did a terrible thing. So now this paladin is going to search out looking for their dad, mainly to bring him to justice. So all they have is a name and what tribe he belonged to, you know, and or where he existed. So maybe they join a group to get a bit stronger before they go out and face him, or maybe the group is, you know, part of the war against orcs or something. But this person has at least not necessarily a hatred towards orcs, but definitely a hatred towards that particular orc, or at least that tribe. And so that's kind of that character's drive, and the reason that they follow so strictly to the code of devotion and justice that Tyr represents. For neutral, I went with the redemption. I believe that is in Xanathar's. Oh, I'm way too far. I was looking at other stuff, apparently. Redemption. Redemption is very much, it's on would be the top and then goes into the next page. It's very much talk, discuss, try to settle things. You know, if somebody's like, I messed up, I'm sorry, okay, you can be redeemed. Everybody's redeemable. You know, nobody's perfect, and it's really the best. You know, converting, much like a devil converting, you know, an angel or a paladin to evil. It'd be the same thing for converting maybe a fiend. They convince a fiend to, they're like, maybe I was wrong. Maybe, being a good guy is actually good. So, or some other kind of evil creature, converting them from their wicked evil ways, murder, pillaging, rape, whatever, to good and serving good. And so I went, this paladin follows the Red Knight, which I can find. Should have found tier for the last one, but I didn't. The Red Knight, which is very much just pretty much a strategist type of deity. So this, I think it's the lady. So she's a strategist. So paladins are warriors for good. So it makes sense. So this child was orphaned because it's half orcs aren't treated great. So maybe the mom. I mean, it could go the other way. Maybe the mom fell in love with an orc and they ran away, but they were killed or something. I didn't really figure that part out, but it's more, they're orphaned. So, I mean, whatever you want to go with as a player. But this orc grew up on the streets. Could be Waterdeep. Grew up on the streets of Waterdeep. And did what they needed to do to survive. Always repented. Always tried if they had any extra to give to those lesser than them. But you kind of have to do what you can to survive. So, sorry, urchin. Grew up on the streets, and then one day saw somebody being attacked by a couple of guys, and did not agree with, it's one-on-one is okay, but this was like 2 or 3 guys on one kind of frail old man, and that's not okay. So this half-orc won't stand for that, but, grew up on the streets, is very savvy, very smart, and knows that you can't just run in and take them out. So, strategizes, is able to run in, maybe hit one with a rock, hit one in the knee so they're less mobile, throw an elbow, did some stuff, fought smart, because that's how you survive on the street. And was able to save this man. Unbeknownst to them, this is actually kind of an aging paladin of the Red Knight, and respecting, especially coming from a half-orc who is kind of judged depending, because they're still part orc, so a lot of people judge them. So this old man saw potential in this child, and took this child under his wing to teach him the ways of the Red Knight, and that he, even though these men attacked him for whatever reason, maybe he looked weak and they were just trying to mug him, or maybe he pissed them off. I don't know. He still forgives them. He does not blame them. People need food. People need money to survive. It happens. So he forgives them, which kind of confounds the half-orc, because you try to be decent, but you don't forgive the guys people who screw you over. You keep an eye on them, and so and maybe the half-orc had learned enough. A couple years later had been taught enough that they want to go out into the world, and try to, because it is the god of battle. So go and test their mettle. Like I said, always could be male or female, doesn't matter. Test their mettle in combat, because they are holy knights. And especially against other intelligent fighters or whatnot. But also to try to convert other evil. So maybe go and find some orcs and try to beat an orc in combat, and be like, there are other ways of living, and trying to change the perception of half of their race, the one half of their race, so that people might see them differently, so that orcs don't have to kill. They could exist in society with the other races, which is a lofty goal, but you're a paladin of redemption. You believe that everything is redeemable, or everyone is redeemable. But part of it also specifically states that they are not afraid to just kick the shit out of somebody. So they're not stupid. They're not just going to be like, oh, he's good. He's got a good heart. He's fine. And then get screwed over by them, like, betrayed by them. They will bring the hammer down. So they do have a point in which they will not put up with it. So that's kind of that one. An evil one is actually pretty simple. Oath of Conquest. Conquest is pretty much, I would say, it fits very well with the orc mentality. So this orc follows Grumsh, the orc deity, and was raised in the orc war machine, and was part of some tribe, was a soldier in that tribe. Gained some rank, was pretty proficient, but it came to a point very recently, because all these assumptions are that you're starting a level 1 character. So at some point recently, their tribe got soft and was like, yeah, maybe we don't have to go kill those people. Maybe we don't have to do this. They just, over his years, they didn't really notice, but looking back on it, they're like, maybe my tribe has always been kind of weak, but this half-orc knows that they're not strong enough to take the leadership of the tribe. But they do what they can, so they fight when they're allowed. And because of the blatant disrespect towards Grumsh actually directly noticing that this half-orc which gets disrespected, but the only one who's willing to slaughter and kill in the name of Grumsh is this halfling, this half-breed, which he doesn't approve of, but better than nobody. So he blesses this paladin, giving this paladin strength and guidance. So now this half-orc has to go out, leaves the tribe to go make a name for themselves, to get stronger, so that they can come back and take their tribe back and make the tribe what it should be. Become like the leader of this tribe, and maybe become the leader of all tribes. Why settle for small? Maybe other tribes are also weak. You don't know. Take your tribe back and then go take another tribe. Just take all the tribes. Become the ultimate. And it'd be like, not only is a half-orc leading all of the tribes, but I am the only one who's this worship and devoted to Grumsh. Which would be motivation for all the other ones to be like, if Grumsh is willing to bestow power upon this, imagine what he would do if I'm got to step up my game, so they can motivate other orcs that you lead. So that's an idea. So, I didn't pull up soldier. Soldier's very basic. You're a soldier. You were raised in the military. You did your thing. So those are my ideas for 3 half-orc paladin characters. There are a couple other, I think it's just Conquest and Devotion, or Conquest and Redemption in there. I don't know if there's anything in Oath of the Crown. I didn't even look in there. But that's another. It seems similar to Devotion, but yeah, that's the gist of it. So I hope that this was inspiring. I hope you get the little dragon thingy so that you can get an inspiration bonus towards character building. This, depending on when this, like I said, there's a special request. If the person needs it before a game that they're playing this weekend, then this will be up on an awkward day. But if this is Sunday, then the week after this, I will go back to my normal routine unless somebody else requests a video. But I will go back to Human Rogue. Go back to kind of the system I was going through and work my way until I have more requests for videos. So thank you for watching. Please like this video if you like it. Subscribe if you want to see more of these or other videos that I do. Ding! Hit that bell so you get notifications about when I put out new videos. And comment. Comment if you liked it. Comment if you want maybe clarification, be like, or some personal. Maybe you don't want me to make a video for you, but maybe you want to just be like, what do you think about this? You know, and then I can kind of have a back and forth with you, which is very much a good thing. So, yeah. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time. Kava Kava.